Hello students, welcome to BioSmart Academy. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss about a very important topic from cell biology. That is, we are going to learn in today's lecture is about flippase, floppase and scramblase. Okay, many times question has been asked previously from this topic. So what are these flippase, floppase and scramblase? What are their function? Okay, we will all know in today's lecture. So please watch this lecture till end. Okay, and before I start this lecture, I just want to remind you that BioSmart Academy provides free online lectures on YouTube strictly on the CSI NET syllabus. Okay, strictly on the basis of CSI NET syllabus, and within 6 months of period of time, you will be in a position to clear any of this examination. So please share BioSmart Academy as much as possible to all your friends and to all those students who are preparing for all this examination. Okay, and subscribe BioSmart Academy YouTube channel. So let's start today's topic. So in today's topic, we are going to learn about flippase, floppase and scramblase. So first of all, we should know that what are these flippase, floppase and scramblase. Okay, so basically these are nothing but a protein. These are protein. Okay, so what type of protein these are? These are basically a transport protein. Okay, basically a transport protein. Okay, and what are its function? Its function is helps in the transportation of transbilinear phospholipid. It helps in transbilinear movement. Okay, it helps in transbilinear or flip flop movement. Okay, it helps in transbilinear or flip flop movement. Okay, so basically flippase, floppase and scramblase is basically a protein, and these are basically a transport proteins, and these basically work by transbilinear movement of the phospholipid molecule either from extracellular to the cytoplasmic leaflet or from cytoplasmic to extracellular leaflet. Okay, this transbilinear movement or flip-flop movement is done by all these protein, that is flippase, floppase and scramblase. So let's start today's topic. So first of all, we should know that, see, this is the plasma membrane layer. Okay, this is the plasma membrane. Okay, this is the plasma membrane, and this is the extracellular part. Okay, this is the extracellular part of the plasma membrane. Okay, and this is the cytoplasmic part. Okay, cytoplasmic part. Okay, cytoplasmic part. As I already mentioned in my previous lectures of cell biology, that the movement of the phospholipid is very much important. The movement of the phospholipid is very much important. Why? To maintain the asymmetry, of the lipid bilayer. Okay, clear now? And I already told you that the amine containing phospholipid, okay, that is phosphatidylethanolamine and phosphatidylserine are present on the cytoplasmic part. Okay, are present on the cytoplasmic part. Okay, amine containing phospholipid are present on the cytoplasmic part. Okay, that is NH3 containing phospholipid are present on the cytoplasmic part. Clear? And the choline containing phospholipid are basically present on the extracellular part. Okay, so choline containing phospholipid are basically present on the extracellular part. Okay, so by this method, the asymmetry of the lipid bilayer is maintained. That is, amine containing phospholipid are present in the cytoplasmic part and choline containing phospholipid are present in the extracellular part of the plasma membrane, and by this way plasma membrane maintains asymmetry. Okay, now a question has been arise here, that how these amine containing or choline containing phospholipid move. How these amine containing or choline containing phospholipid move. Okay, so the answer is this amine containing and choline containing phospholipid are moved by the transbiliar movement of the by the transbiliar movement, and this transbiliar movement is basically occur by these proteins, that is lipase, floppase and scramblase. Clear up to this? That's why I first make you clear about this topic. That's why I draw a simple diagram, make it clear. Okay, now we should read what are flippase, what are floppase and what are scramblase. Okay, so let's start. See, if we do a transbiliar movement without any catalyzation of these proteins, then the movement would become very slow, because the diffusion process became very slow. So the transbiliar or flip-flop movement is required, that a polar charged molecule or polar or charged molecule, that is a polar or charged molecule, move into the hydrophobic interior, okay, of the biliar. So this process is require a positive free energy. Okay, as I already explain why positive free energy is required in yesterday's lecture when I taught you hydropathy plot. So please watch all the previous lecture, because all that lectures are important. So clear now? So we should look at what exactly flippase done. Okay, see, flippase is basically translocate the amino phospholipid. Okay, means the amino phospholipid are translocated from extracellular to the cytosolic leaflet of the plasma membrane by this flippase protein. Okay, so what is flippase do? See, the function of flippase is that, okay, the function of flippase is that, see, flippase, okay, so flippase basically done, suppose this is a this is a biliar and this is a plasma membrane. Okay, so in this case we look at about the flippase. So flippase basically helps in the movement of the amine containing phospholipid or aminophospholipid into the cytoplasmic part, okay, into the cytoplasmic part of the plasma membrane, okay, from extracellular to the cytoplasmic part. Okay, so flippase basically help in the movement of the amine. So flippase basically help in the movement of the amine containing phospholipid from extracellular to the cytoplasmic part of the plasma membrane. Okay, so with the help of this graphical representation, now you get a clear idea that what is the function of flippase. It may be asked in the examination. Okay, so what is the function of flippase? Flippase basically helps in the movement of the amine containing phospholipid from extracellular to the cytoplasmic part of the plasma membrane. Clear? Second point, please note it down here. For this, flippase is required ATP. Okay, for this flippase is required ATP. Okay, note it down. And 1 ATP is required per molecule. Okay, 1 ATP is required per molecule. 1 ATP is required per molecule. Okay, 1 ATP is required per molecule. Okay, 1 ATP is required per molecule. Okay, per molecule. Okay, so flippase, so first point is that flippase is helps in the transfer of the amine containing phospholipid from extracellular part of the plasma membrane to the cytoplasmic part. First point. Second point is that it required ATP, that is 1 ATP is required per molecule transport. Okay, and third important point is that flippase is an p-type ATPase protein. Okay, p-type ATPase protein. Okay, so flippase is an p-type ATPase protein. Okay, p-type ATPase protein. Flippase is an p-type ATPase protein. Clear? So please note all these points. Now let's look at the PPT. So these are about flippage. Okay, I already mentioned this point about the flippage. Okay, and one more important point that I forget to mention is that in case of ER, okay, in case of ER, flippage is also play an important role. And what is that role? That is, flippage helps in the movement of newly synthesized protein, newly synthesized phospholipid. Okay, flippase is helps in the movement of newly synthesized phospholipid from the site of synthesis in cytosolic leaflet to the luminal leaflet. In case of ER, flippase helps in the movement of newly synthesized phospholipid from the cytosolic leaflet to the luminal leaflet. Okay, this is in the case of ER. Okay, then flippase consume 1 ATP per molecule of phospholipid that I already mentioned, and flippase is functionally related to p-type ATPase. Functionally related to p-type ATPase. Flippase is functionally related to p-type ATPase. Okay, this point is very important. As I already mentioned you this point in the figure. As I already mentioned you this point in the figure. Okay, and there is another point. If the phosphatidylserine, okay, what is phosphatidylserine? Phosphatidylserine is an example of amino containing phospholipid. Okay, amino containing phospholipid. Okay, it is an example of amino containing phospholipid. Okay, if phosphatidylserine is if they're present in the extracellular leaflet, then it basically exposed to the outer surface and it basically trigger apoptosis and engulfment by the macrophage. Okay, that carry phosphatidylserine receptor. Clear? So these are all function of flippase. I think you got a clear idea about the flippase, and if you have any problem on this flippase, then you may comment on the comment box. Now next, move to the floppase. What? Floppase. Okay, see, first of all we look at the floppase with the help of a diagram. Okay, with the help of a diagram. So this is a floppase. Okay, so we are basically study here about floppase. Okay, about floppase. Okay, floppase. Okay, so what are floppase? See, I draw a beautiful graphical representation like that of flippase, then you will get a clear idea about the floppase function. Okay, so this is floppase, this is plasma membrane. Okay, plasma membrane. Okay, so what does floppase do? Basically, floppase transfer just vice versa of flippase, means just opposite of that flippase. Okay, so floppase basically transfer phospholipid and sterols from cytoplasmic leaflet to the extracellular part of the plasma membrane. Okay, floppase basically transfer sterol from cytoplasmic part of the plasma membrane to the extracellular part. Okay, to the extracellular part. Okay, so this is a floppase. Okay, clear? So in case of flippase, we looked at flippase transfer from extracellular to cytoplasmic part, that is the amine containing phospholipid, while in case of floppase we have seen that floppase transfer sterol and other phospholipid molecule from cytoplasmic part to the extracellular part of the plasma membrane, Okay, so this is about floppase. So floppase basically is a transport protein which transport sterol and other phospholipid except the amino containing phospholipid from cytoplasmic part of the plasma membrane to the extracellular part of the plasma membrane. It transfer all these sterols and other phospholipids. Clear? Now second point is that it also use the energy of ATP. Okay, please remember, it also use the energy of ATP. Okay, clear? And third and most important point is that floppase, as I already told you that flippase is a member of p-type ATPase family. So like that, floppase is a member of ABC transporter family. Okay, ABC transporter family. Okay, so floppase is a member of ABC transporter family. What is this ABC transporter family, what are that, p-type ATPase family. We will discuss these things in details in future lectures of cell biology. Okay, and these all are very important from examination point of view. So now I think you got a clear idea about floppase. So now let's look at the PPT of the floppase. See, floppase helps in the movement of the plasma membrane phospholipid and other sterols from cytosolic to the extracellular leaflet, from cytosol to extracellular, as I teach you in the figure, in the graphic, in the graphical representation, as I show in the graph. Okay, floppase is also ATP dependent, as I already mentioned. Floppase is an ATP dependent. Okay, and floppase are member of ABC transporter family. Floppase are member of ABC transporter family. This point is very important. Floppase is a member of ABC transporter family. So please note this point. Okay, and what is a this ABC transporter family basically do? All ABC transporter family actively transport hydrophobic substrate outward across the plasma membrane. Okay, ABC transporter family basically transport hydrophobic substrate across or outward across the plasma membrane. Okay, ABC transporter family basically transport hydrophobic. ABC transporter family basically transport hydrophobic, hydrophobic, hydrophobic out of the plasma membrane, out of the plasma membrane. Okay, out of the plasma membrane, out of plasma membrane. Okay, so this is a function of ABC transporter family. ABC transporter family basically transport hydrophobic substrate outward across the plasma membrane. Clear? Now next move to another protein, that is scramblase. Okay, then we look out this diagram or figure that I have taken from Leninger biochemistry book. Okay, and with the help of this figure you get a clear idea more. Okay, you get a more clear idea about all these three protein. So what is scramblase? First of all, I want to explain about this scramblase another again with the help of the diagram. Okay, so this is about the scramblase. Okay, so see, this is the figure of scramblase. Okay, scramblase. Clear? Now as you know, this is a plasma membrane. So basically scramblase, first point please note it down, that scramblase is ATP independent, ATP independent, ATP independent. Okay, scramblase is ATP independent. Okay, what okay, so scramblase is ATP independent. So question will be asked in the examination that out of these three protein which is ATP independent, so the answer will be scramblase is an ATP independent protein. Clear? Next, as I already mentioned you that prophase transfer from cytosol to extracellular part, flippase transfer from extracellular to cytosolic part. But in case of scramblase, it basically maintain the lipid bilayer on both the side. That's why this type of diagram you see in case of scramblase. Okay, it maintain the lipid bilayer from extracellular to cytosol as well as from cytosol to extracellular. That is, it maintain the bilayer from both the side. Clear? And third important point is that scramblase is calcium dependent. Scramblase is calcium dependent. Scramblase is calcium dependent. Okay, so these are the three most important point about scramblase. Now look at this diagram. Okay, then you got a clear idea. So this is a diagram of flippase. As you have seen, this amine containing phospholipid are basically transported from extracellular to cytosol part, as you have seen this figure. Clear? And this is a diagram of floppase. As you have seen, this sterol and other phospholipid move from cytosol to extracellular part. Clear? And this is a diagram of scramblase. As you have seen, it basically maintain both the layer from extracellular to cytosol and from cytosol to extracellular. And as you have seen that this is calcium dependent and ATP is not required in case of scramblase, while ATP is required in both this case. Clear? Now let's and these two diagrams are basically nothing but this is a transbilayer movement, but it is an uncatalyzed movement that without the involvement of these proteins. Okay, so the movement is very slow, and this is also a uncatalyzed movement, but this is a lateral diffusion, so that's why the movement is fast. And why in case of lateral diffusion movement is fast? Because in case of lateral diffusion proteins are interact laterally. Okay, and this can be easily understood by the help of the Frapp method. Okay, I will teach this Frapp method when I will teach the instrument module. Okay, clear? Now I think with the help of these three beautiful diagram from Leninger book of biochemistry, you get a clear idea about the flippase, floppase and scramblase. So basically I mention all these points, that is scramblase are protein that move any membrane phospholipid across the bilayer, any membrane phospholipid across the bilayer. Basically it maintain the phospholipid equal on both the bilayer. Okay, second point, it is not dependent on ATP, not dependent on ATP. Clear? And third point, it is activated by calcium, activated by calcium. As its activity rises, that is increase when intracellular concentration of calcium is increased, when intracellular concentration of calcium is increased. Clear? And fourth point, it basically ensure that it basically check whether both the monolayers remain equally populated with phospholipid or not. So these are all about the scramblase. So students, this topic is very much important from CSI net point of view. I think I try my best to make you clear about all these three protein, flippase, floppase and scramblase. So that's all for today's lecture, and that's all for basics of cell biology lecture. Okay, and from tomorrow onward we are move on the depth of cell biology, from where 4 marks question will be arise. Okay, so for all this lecture, please share this channel to all your friends and all the candidates of CSIR and other license entrance exam, and please subscribe the channel. Okay, and please press that notification bell so that you get a latest notification. Okay, and if you like, please comment. So thank you.